not know why I'm so nervous to do this. Okay. Hi everybody, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Karie, and today's video is going to be different. It's probably going to be the most vulnerable, hard video I've ever had to make. So that being said, this video is about my dad and the life events leading up to everything that has gone on, up into new information that we have found out. And so before we start this video, I'm just gonna say you're gonna see me look at my phone a lot because I have written down so many notes and bullet points so I don't get off track and you guys can really get a sense of his life and the mental health and the addiction and just everything that went on. I'm going to try to gracefully try to fit it together like a puzzle piece. So if you see me looking at my phone, that is why. And before I start this video, I just want to say that this is just my truth. This video isn't to hurt anybody or to portray my dad in a negative light or in a bad way. This is just my truth and the memories that I have, and I hope that at the end of this video I can somehow connect with somebody out there and know that you aren't alone. And yeah, losing a parent is hard, and it comes with mental health stuff and hard feelings. So yes. I wanted to start this video honestly because I, over the last year or two, have been more open about talking about my dad over on social media. So I've gotten a couple questions over there about where my dad is. Emma is now also getting older, so she has also started asking more questions, which has had me having to answer a lot and deal with unresolved emotions. So that is why we are here today, because I wanted to make a video to hopefully try to heal for myself, and like I said earlier, to maybe help someone else out there that has lost a parent or has gone through the events that I did over the years. Okay, so let's talk about the beginning. Young love. My mom and dad fell in love very young, had me very young, 15, 16. And, you know, he was a young guy, and to be honest, as I remember it from my grandma telling me, he was a very skinny guy, so he probably wanted to keep up with his appearance. So he started working out a lot, and I remember my dad going to the gym for hours at a time, and then come appearance and comes the gym, comes steroids, because men want to look better and big and muscular, and which that started an addiction in itself. I mean, an unhealthy habit right there to begin with. As life went on, he got into drinking and drugs, which we all know is not good for mental health. And that not being good for mental health, my mom saw that. I think a lot of people saw that, and he didn't want to get the help that he needed to get to help himself. He just liked the way he was living and doing. He was very selfish. So that resulted in our family breaking up, obviously, because my mom wanted to protect us kids and didn't want to support that. And if he didn't want to help himself, to me, how important were we, you know? Our family is broken up. Now think about his and I's relationship. I thought my dad was the coolest guy in the world. I remember him coming to eat lunch with me in school and going outside to play at recess, and all the boys wanted to play kickball with him, and I just thought that was the cool, like, I just had the cool dad. Everybody wanted to hang out with my dad at school, which made me feel like the cool girl. I'm sorry guys if I look at this and pause for a second. This is hard for me, and like I said, I do have notes and I just want to be real and keep it in order so it's the most understanding for you guys. So I thought he was so cool, but him being wrapped up in his habits, it was obviously selfish, a selfish time of his, and our family was broken up and I wanted to go live with him. I remember telling my mom, I'm sure all teen girls with broken families, like, I want to go live with dad. She told me to call him, and I called him, and he didn't want me to live with him. Like I said, he was living his life, and he had a girlfriend now, and he was still in his habits. And at a young age, that was really a time that I experienced rejection, and also a time that I was trying to get approval from my dad. So maybe if I was cool enough, I could hang out with him, or he would want me more. So that was very hard, and I think that's at a very young age for me was hard, and it's still rejection and approval is a huge thing for me. So that's what has started with my personality traits that young. So I had to have been 10, 11 when he said he didn't want me to live with them, and I could just come visit on the weekends or whenever. So that was very hard for me. So going through all those hard feelings for me, then life was that. You had to accept it. I mean, I couldn't force myself to make my dad let me live with him. So at that point, it was just the three of us, my mom, sister, and I. And my mom was an amazing mom to always protect us from all the bad things. We rarely knew anything bad that was going on with my dad or her or their marriage or anything like that. She did a very good job at protecting us and not wanting to hurt us. But through life and like growing up, since it was four of us, I always felt like I was really close with my dad and we were a team, and my mom and sister were a team. Well, once my dad abandoned me, it was the three of us. And at that point, and I love my mom to death, but I always just felt like I was the third wheel out. And those are always just feelings that I think that are always going to be there because me and my dad were really close. So I moved out senior year of high school and moved into my aunt's house. I was just having a really hard time. Yeah, it was just really hard around that age. And so I went to go live with my aunt. I had a boyfriend at a time who she let live with us, so I thought it was cool. I was getting older. I had more freedom. It was all cool and fun until you realize your dad is off being selfish and now you don't feel like you have a mom because you just left her. So her and I rekindled our friendship, and I was just always wanting approval for him. But as I got older, his habits got worse and he really honestly turned in. I remember he would call me and he would tell me that he disowned me and I was a disappointment. And then the next day he would call me and tell me how much he loved me and asked me to go to lunch. And that just really messed up my mind. And so now I'm at the age of 18 and 20 and I feel rejection. I feel the need of approval. And now I wonder, does he love me? The one man that I love the most and that is supposed to love me the most and protect me and was supposed to just always be there, I now had to question, did he even love me? Because the messages, he was just so high off these drugs and I didn't call him enough or I didn't visit him enough because I really put my foot down as these feelings aren't right. This is emotional abuse. Now I'm at the age I know this is emotional abuse and it's not okay. my mom protected us from a lot, and I think my mom really did try to make him to seem like a better guy, really tried to hide the bad things and talk better than he was to us, so we would want to go see him. But now I'm at the age that I knew this is wrong. Like, he's messing with all of our emotions, and my sister was already over it. And again, she was so close with my mom that she didn't play into that stuff where I needed his approval, and so I was constantly around and trying to fix the relationship. And yeah, it just came to a time I just gave up, and I stopped answering the phone, and I stopped texting back, and that's when things got bad. And we fell apart. We didn't talk. I didn't really talk about him to my mom because, I mean, the way he treated her, it was just, she hated him now. And my sister loved my mom so much and saw all the hurt that happened over the years. And you got to think my sister's older now, that she really just didn't play into it. And so I finally, it's like I tried to let go of him, but I didn't, and I would just kind of hoped that someday it would get better. So I mean, there was, I think the last time I talked to him was, he was in the hospital, and I asked if I could go see him, and he told me he would call me when his girlfriend wasn't there so I could come. Again, at that point, it was rejection. It was him picking his girlfriend over his daughter when he's in the hospital. Like, it was a lot of games. And at that point, I felt like a huge game piece in his game that he just got to move and play with however he wanted, and I put a stop to it. So come to the night he died, he got in a fight with his girlfriend, and he was an immature man, so he went to his mom's house, and my great grandma had actually fallen and broken her hip as well. So he was also there helping my grandma lift her in and out of bed if she needed help. But that day, everyone said he was making amends. He bought my aunt something new. He bought my cousin a new basketball, and he bought my grandma a cake. It was very out of character for him. He was a big roller coaster. He wasn't always nice to them, so it was very odd that he was giving them stuff, and it really did seem like he was making amends. And this night was my husband, Pat's, graduation night, so we had been drinking all day. We went to bed early. And the next morning, I woke up to my aunt screaming, crying, knocking on my door, telling me that my dad had died in his sleep. So I immediately called my mom because I didn't know what to do. I was living at my aunt's house still. I went with my mom to pick up my sister from high school because she was in school, and we drove to my mom's house, and that's all I really remember. His girlfriend did not allow my mom to be welcome to his memorial. In that case, my sister and I were not comfortable to go alone, so we didn't even go to mourn my dad. And my family, his mom and grandma and aunt, or his sister, my aunt, allowed that. So that being said, I immediately, again, was hurt. My dad just passed away, and my family wasn't sticking up for My sister, not only my sister and I, but my mom was with my dad from 15 to until I was 10. So years. My mom belonged there and she had 2 kids. So I cut ties with the family. I thought it was very messed up. I didn't feel like they allowed us the opportunity for closure or mourning. And that being said, they also never really told us why. Why did he die? We don't know. I know he was on oxygen. He did have underlying health issues. That's all I really know. Again, I was not talking to him at the time. And they said he just died in his sleep. My grandma went to go wake him up and he was stiff and died in his sleep. That's all I know. That's all I have known for the last 8 to 9 years. So it has been years. I have gone through a marriage and having 2 babies, moving into houses, and I've never had my dad there. So over the last year or so, I've really been more open to talk about it. And like I said, Emma was asking questions about him. Now that she's more aware, she knows I have a mom, but where's your dad? How did he die? All these things. So I've really been interested. And my sister came over a couple weeks ago and asked if I would be interested to go and get the death certificate or autopsy report so we can really get the answers. We started looking into it. I called my grandma for the first time in years, and it was hard. I asked questions. I wanted to know what mortuary he was cremated at, if she had the autopsy report, if I ordered a death certificate, if it would say the reasons as to what caused the death, those things. She found his death certificate and she had said he had COPD, cardiac, something cardiac, and something with smoking and obesity. So all I know is he was having issues with an organ and he did end up swelling up. He had a lot of water retention and he was on oxygen. That's all I knew. So that's all she said. Well, I called the mortuary and come to find out all these years, the thing that I had in the back of my mind was true, and it hurt that family lied about it and hid it from us, but I understand as well that they would want to protect us and not let us see him in a bad light or in a bad way the last time we think of him. But he did overdose on 2 prescription drugs. It was in the back of my mind that maybe that had happened and he had done that because it wasn't an unusual thing. He had tried a couple of times. Like I said, he had mental health issues mixed with the drugs and the drinking. There was a lot, and he pulled a lot of us around the roller coaster with him. So it's been 9 years, almost 10 years, and it's kind of like accepting a whole new death, knowing that maybe I didn't give him enough chances. maybe if we were talking or I did text back, maybe he would have gotten help, or I could have pushed him to that. Maybe my kids would have had a grandpa, or I would have had a dad walk me down the aisle. Just a lot of things are maybes, and now are a question. What if I was around more? What if I forgave him better? So this is like accepting a whole new death, and I wanted to make this video because I do get a lot of questions, not only from Emma, but from subscribers or Instagram followers asking how our family dynamic is. They see my mom, they see my sister in videos and in pictures, but there's no dad. So I wanted to make this video to hopefully try and help me heal and get my feelings out there and build a timeline and have it for myself, and as well as to help others if you have lost a parent or if you have had a parent with addiction. I also wanted to leave in the description box a couple resources that if you do know someone struggling with mental health or addiction, you can hopefully try to help them. So I hope this video helped you, and yeah, this one was a hard one, and give it a thumbs up that I had the guts to do it, and I'll see you in the next one, and the next one is definitely going to be back to our usual videos. Thanks for watching, guys.